Hey guys, what's up? It's your man Pete again. You know, the Toronto real estate market has been absolutely on fire here in the first 5 months of this illness-stricken year. And while it's no surprise just how hot the housing market has been here in Toronto, with of course record low interest rates, an insatiable appetite for houses and condos, and of course, FOMO. You know, early on in the year, I was literally working with clients where the houses were going up about 50,000 every single week. And this was all the way up in Newmarket. But it seems like things have tamed just a little bit from the peak we had here in March, as the Toronto Real Estate Board just released their figures for the month of May. And by any measure or stat, it was a spectacular month for sale, where we did close to 12,000 transactions in the month before the enactment of the new stress tests. But of course, they're measuring it against the peak of March, where we did over 15,000 transactions. And so of course anything is going to pale in comparison when you're doing record numbers like that. But in the report, President Lisa Patel mentioned that with immigration slow and we're not getting a lot of new people coming into the country, of course, due to COVID, but that the buyer pool is sort of drying up, you know, which they did mention in the previous report for the month of April. But still, close to 12,000 transactions and sales is really nothing to scoff at. It is a spectacular sales number. And still, I'm not totally convinced that the numbers will drop off that significantly. And like I always say to my clients, you should never, ever bet against the Toronto real estate market because you're going to lose. And the FOMO mentality is sort of getting more and more intense, you know, where we're seeing parents, you know, in the boomer generation saying, son, I think we need to buy you a condo, like right now, because average prices are up a stunning 28%. You know, around this time last year in May, things were starting to improve again in the market overall. But of course, a 28% price acceleration is just absolutely bonkers. And this could be just because people were intensely buying up, trying to get into the market before the stress test became enacted on June 1st, which was just a couple of days ago. But we find ourselves in an absolutely weird, strange, and abnormal time. But we are starting to see things sort of slow down just a little bit, which could turn out to be a good buying time, or at least a better buying time than the first quarter of this year. Because, well, the weather is nicer, vacation season is just around the corner, and people are getting pricked in their arms all over the place. But here's the million-dollar question. How slow could it go? So far this year, we are way ahead of the 2020 numbers. In fact, we have doubled the sales transactions numbers that we did last year. But that makes sense because the number were skewed and a lot lower during the spring of last year. But then if we measure it against a normal year like 2019, transactions are still up close to 70% compared to that normal year. So it'll be very interesting to see if we can sort of maintain this pace, maintain this level of transaction speed, considering that there's a limited amount of buyers and there's not a lot of immigration or people coming into the country, or so they say. But it'll be a very telling sign about the strength and the resilience and the incredible demand of buyers for properties here in the city and all across the GTA. Historically, in the past, whenever we saw a big run up in prices like this, there is a moment where we take a breather, where things kind of slow down. And I think May was supposed to be that month, but doesn't really look like that was the case. And then of course going forward, the story has to be the amount of inventory, right? Like how much supply is out there, because if the supply isn't enough for that demand, then we're going to see prices jump even more across the slower summer months. To me, it feels a bit slower. You know, it's definitely not as intense as the first 3 months of the year, but still, considering the absorption of the news regarding the new stress test barriers, it's really, really impressive, or scary to some, that the average home prices are up to $1.1 million now, which is an all-time record, an all-time high. And of course, news and catalysts in the market usually take about 1 to 3 months to absorb, especially in the real estate market. We definitely find that response to markets and triggers and reactions and catalysts are happening a lot faster here in Toronto. So essentially, people are definitely more responsive because there's more information and more content and more videos out there, like the stuff I put out for you guys. So if you really want to know what's going on over the next couple of months, which is going to be super, super interesting, then you definitely want to make sure you hit the like button, give us a subscribe, make sure you stay close to the channel so that you know what's going on and you can be better informed to make an excellent decision. And you know you're always going to get world-class signature insights, analysis, and opinions from yours truly here at Selling Toronto. But yeah, at first blush, it feels like things are slowing down and tapering off a little bit, and you know, we're going to prepare for a slower summer month, and it may be that the transactions will come down just a little bit because maybe it's going to be held up by inventory, maybe buyers are just going to chill a little bit and enjoy the weather. Either way, we probably won't be seeing fireworks type numbers like we saw in March, but if we stay in the 5-digit range of sales activity, so anything over 10,000 transactions, it's going to tell us really just how strong this market is, and prices ain't going anywhere but up. So again, please hit the subscribe button, give us a like, and if you need some personal attention and guidance and you want to work with a real pro to help you make the best investment decision for you going forward based on your own personal circumstances, then you definitely want to give us a shout here at Selling Toronto. Contact information is in the description below. I'm going to continue to keep you guys updated here for the rest of the year, so stay close to the channel. We'll see you in the next one, and bye for now.